Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Amy from With Love by Amy, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are going to make a card that takes a few twists and turns, but it is focused on Pink Fresh Studios products. And I do not currently have any Pink Fresh Studio inks, so I had to use my Distress Oxides to blend this rainbow on the background. So initially I was like, knowing that I needed to make a card for the cardhoppin group on Facebook. They do a monthly hop where you make a card, and I like to make videos to go along with all my cards. So I was like, okay, got to do that. And apparently I forgot what the theme was. It was supposed to be flowers, but it was also supposed to include a shaker element. Yeah, I forgot that when I got distracted by a card that I had seen by Carissa Wiley that was done with some new Pink Fresh Studios merchandise. And she had done a solid background with some just like stamped and that no coloring on the flowers. And I thought it looked absolutely stunning. So I was like, this is cool, but I also like to do challenges when I can for specific companies and stuff. So when I started out thinking about this flowers hop, I was like, I need to do something with this stamp. So I went to Pink Fresh Studios blog and I looked at their challenge of the month, and the challenge for Pink Fresh Studios for the month is to do rainbows. And I was like, this is awesome. So here we go. This is what we're doing. But in the meantime, in my spaciness, I forgot that it was supposed to include a shaker element. So here, like after I'm done blending, looks like I'm finishing it up, and then I realized, oh no, I was supposed to make it into a shaker. So I had to do some improvising here. But the colors that I used to ink blend with the Distress Oxides are Candied Apple, Spice Marmalade, Squeezed Lemonade, Mowed Lawn, Mermaid Lagoon, and Wilted Violet. And just so I could kind of make sure I had about even amounts, I started out with Candied Apple in the upper left corner, and then I switched to Wilted Violet on the lower right corner. And then I kind of just like built it out so that I wouldn't have any like extra large pieces of any color in there. And I think it worked out well. How would you have done this if you were doing a similar background? Because I couldn't really think of any other way to make it sort of evenish looking. But I like the way it turned out in the end. It did take me way longer than I thought to ink blend this background. And maybe it always takes a long time to ink blend. But I must admit, I love looking at a good rainbow, even if it's a rainbow in progress, and all the ink pads. It's pretty awesome. I'm loving the bright colors, must say. Loving, loving, loving. All right, so here we are. I die cut the floral bunch out with my die cutting machine, and now we are using VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp it down. And I'm going to use my, I don't know, what is that thing? My stamping tool from, I think it's LDRS or something like that. Yeah. And so I stamped it, and there it looks beautiful. And I'm going to keep this piece of cardstock in the packaging for this stamp set, because in the event that I do this in the future, I want to have that as like a guide, basically, to be able to put the die cut into. All right. And so now we're going to do a sentiment. We chose one of the sentiments from the stamp set, and I love how it turned out on the rainbow cardstock there. And then I put foam tape on the back of the floral stamp, and I'm going to put some liquid adhesive onto the tape, or the foam tape, and I'm keeping the card panel there in the corner of my MISTI so that I make sure that my flower doesn't go over the edge, because I didn't want to have to cut any of the flower off, and I also wanted to make sure you could still see all my sentiment. And then I'm taking the card base, and I'm going to stamp my personalized stamp in the corner with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I am loving this personalized stamp. I ordered it specifically in the size that I could use for business cards. If, I talk to somebody about my social media and stuff like that, I could hand them a business card. And also I could just, stamp this on the back of cards, because honestly, I'm not trying to do this to sell cards. I'm trying to do this to grow my social media following, and so other people can see how these projects come together, which is what I love doing, teaching other people. So I really appreciate when everybody likes and subscribes to my channel, because it just makes me remember that people do value what I'm doing, and I really appreciate it. It makes me really happy. So if you like and subscribe, thank you so much. All right. So that stamp is newer, so it took me a couple times, and here we're going to use the bone folder, and here I am literally about to glue it together when I realized, oh no, it's supposed to be a shaker. So I'm going to put some super strong tape, I think it's called score tape, on the back of the panel. And then you can't see it, but I do have, it's really hard to see. It's on the bottom of the screen there. I have some tulle there. The instructions for the cardhoppin hop were to either use tulle or vellum, and I recently used vellum in something else, so I was like, why not use some tulle? I haven't used tulle in a card for a long time. So that's what we're doing. And I am going to put the tape all the way around all four corners. However, when I put the piece of tulle under the card panel and I'm ready to go, I'm not going to take the backing paper off all the sides of it, because I still need to put my shaker bits in there. So I'm just kind of cutting it roughly larger than the panel. And it doesn't need to be exact, because we can trim off the excess after we tape it on there. So I will say you kind of want it to be a little bit snug. There was one spot after I'd finished it all that I didn't get it as snug as I wanted to, and that kind of annoyed me. But, you know, you live and learn. I don't think I've ever made a shaker with tulle like this before. I've used tulle in other ways, like to make a little tutu or something, but I've never used it like this on a card. So it turned out cool. I liked it, but not exactly, you know, well practiced in this. And there I am just trimming the corners so I don't have a bunch of folds and bunches. And I also want to make sure that the shaker bits aren't going to leak out of there. And for the shaker bits, some of them, I mean, you'll see me put them in just a minute, but some of them were from Spellbinders, some of them were from High Supply, some of them were honestly from the dollar store. I just used what I had. And if they have a name on the container, it probably means they're from, you know, like those are the blue and the purpley ones. Those are dollar store. Those are Spellbinders. The gold ones are dollar store. Green ones probably also dollar store. I bought a huge collection of them for like $1. Well, $1 obviously, but it was like a bunch of different colors. So there you can see I'm putting shaker bits in just sequins, just cheapo sequins. And I'm trying really hard not to spill them, because, you know, nobody wants to clean up freaking sequins all over the place. And I didn't put a ton in there because, I mean, I didn't know how the tulle would take the pressure of the sequins. So I just put some in just to make it colorful. And I did try to go as close as I could to the rainbow colors that I had there. And I think, oh, there we go, another Spellbinders one. Maybe I didn't use a High Supply one. I think the High Supply embellishments that I have all have a little more texture than I wanted for this card. But I'm trimming down the corners, and then I'm going to take, after I fold that last corner or that last edge over, I'm going to put that same exact tape over the edges of the card, and I'm trying to get it, see, I'm trimming off the excess there. And when I put that extra layer of tape on, I try to get that as close to the edge of the card as I can, just in case there's any, you know, there's any spots that the first layer of tape didn't get, so that my sequins don't escape from the card, because, you know, nobody wants a messy card. So there I am putting the score tape on the back of the card, and I'm really pressing it down with my fingers. I could use a bone folder, but I didn't. And I think it looks pretty cool. And I should have verified that it was exactly the right size before I put the tulle on, but I didn't. But fortunately, it was the right size. Sometimes my card panels end up just a teeny tiny bit too big, but this one was perfect. Also, in hindsight, should have probably lined it up in like the Misty or something again, but I think it turned out pretty good. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out some of these other videos and come back soon to see what else we're making. Have a great day. Bye.